Everyone thinks that Vietnam is a paradise with beautiful women and $1 noodles. But what they don't tell you is the traffic will test your nerves, the language will crush your confidence, and the culture will leave you frustrated and feeling like you don't belong. Okay, maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but Vietnam is unlike any other country in the world, and if you're not prepared for it,
you're gonna have a bad time.
In this video, I'm breaking down 9 harsh truths about living in Vietnam and showing you exactly how to survive them. Let's dive in. Number 1, Vietnam is not Thailand, so don't come here for degeneracy. People arrive expecting a neon circus like Bangkok or Pattaya. Bottomless nightlife, easy hookups, and endless hedonism. The reality is that Vietnam runs on family, community, and daytime life. Cafes open early at 6 o'clock in the morning, kids play in the street, and uncles will be sipping tea in pajamas. You can find nightlife, but it's usually mild, more localized, and not really built for tourist degeneracy. Pull up a plastic chair outside of a mini mart or a Vietnamese barbecue and have a beer for 60 or 80 cents, have some great local food, and then maybe go out for some karaoke, which will only be around $5 or $10 for a private room. Clubs and nightlife do still exist, especially in cities like Ho Chi Minh, but it's typically not on the same scale as Thailand. If you come here expecting it to be Southeast Asia party land, you'll either be disappointed or you'll be accidentally disrespectful. Socializing here still is possible. You don't need to be wasted all the time.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
I recommend finding some local expat groups, sports clubs, cafes, Muay Thai gyms, or co-working events. The amount of times I've heard people say, bro, I've heard you can live in Vietnam for like $400 a month. You know, the reality is, yes, you can live very affordably here. There are people who've commented on previous videos of mine saying they live for under $1,000, in some cases under $800. But this is only really if you're eating only local food like Tom Kha or Mi Chao every day, living in a bare bones studio for $250 a month down the back of some alley, and avoiding any Western food or fun for that matter. To live a comfortable life, you do need around $1,000 to $1,400 in the major cities like Ho Chi Minh or Da Nang. To give you an idea of some prices, local dishes will typically run anywhere from around $1.50 to $3 for things like pho, com kha, etc. Depending of course on where you go. If you're wanting to get things like imported cheese, expect to pay $8 to $10. Same thing for Greek yogurt, good wine, run you anywhere from $17 to $20 for a bottle. And if you're wanting to find a nice 1-bedroom apartment, expect to spend anywhere from $500 to $600 a month. 2 bedrooms and houses run anywhere from $800 to $900. Still not bad, but maybe not quite as cheap as you thought. Most Westerners come here expecting it to be really cheap, and they burn through their savings in 2 or 3 months because they completely misjudge the cost of living comfortably. So my advice would be to live hybrid, eat local about 70 or 80% of the time, and Western about 20 or 30%. Buy your fruits and veggies from local markets and get your meat in bulk from hypermarkets like Go Da Nang vigorously. The language is an absolute nightmare, at least at first. When I first came to Vietnam, I saw the letters and I was like, oh, okay, they use the same alphabet, so this should be a piece of cake. Reality is that Vietnamese is tonal. There's 6 tones in the north and different ones in the south.
Ma, 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 ma.
So if you're not careful, you'll end up calling your mother a horse. No pressure. Locals are very patient, but the learning curve for language here is very, very steep. To get started, I'd recommend checking out the Ling app. I personally signed up a couple of weeks ago and have been using it to at least get the very elementary stage of Vietnamese. It has been somewhat helpful, although it hasn't really helped me with the pronunciation side of things.
Be try.
To level up, you really do need to get a language class. Go Vietnam would be my recommendation if you're staying in the Da Nang area. Group lessons are really cheap. It's only about, I think, $60 for 8 lessons per month, and it really does help you understand tone from a local. Every 30 or 50 words here will dramatically improve your life and your experience here in Vietnam. I don't know what people expect before they come to Vietnam. I certainly didn't expect it to be as loud as it is, especially when you've just come from places like Thailand, where people are very conscious of noise pollution and of being loud generally. Vietnam's a different kettle of fish. You're going to hear motorbike horns, vendors yelling, construction at 7 o'clock in the morning, and even street karaoke at 10 or 11 p.m. at night on a Wednesday. The soundscape and the city itself is alive with noise. You can counteract this with a good quality pair of noise cancelling headphones. I have got some pretty good ones, so they are quite expensive. I think the ones I got were around 300 or 400 bucks, but I'll link them in the description below. If you're wanting something a little bit cheaper, you can just get some earbuds. Expect to spend anywhere from kind of $15 or $20 for a decent pair. Avoid apartments near main roads or construction sites.
No shit, Sherlock.
Just do your due diligence. When you're renting an apartment, double check with the landlord if there's any construction nearby. Make sure the windows are insulated. If you can, arrange another apartment viewing in the early morning or at night to get a good idea of the difference in noise levels between the daytime and the nighttime. If you do see some locals, don't be afraid to ask them. Like most people, I came here expecting it to be tropical, sunny, like complete paradise type weather. It's anything but that. You come in the wrong season. So I didn't know this, but Vietnam has 3 climate zones and they are completely different. In the north around Hanoi, it's typically hot and sticky in the summer with cold, damp winters, and there is no heating here. Honestly, it gets really cold. I wasn't expecting this, but it went down as low as like 10 degrees. I didn't have any warm clothes, ended up having to buy a jacket and a couple of jumpers just to survive. Central Vietnam, where I currently am, you get hot summers, relatively mild winters, and then you also get a wet season, which is very wet. There's a lot of typhoons, there's a lot of wet weather, and it's usually raining pretty much every day. And in the south, where Ho Chi Minh is, you have only 2 seasons. You typically have the hot and wet season, and then the hot and dry season. You're going to be sweating 90% of the time. Have a bit of a look at when you're coming, double check what the weather's going to be like, and plan accordingly. The traffic will try to kill you, at least statistically speaking. So people come here expecting organized chaos. The reality is it's organized chaos to locals who understand the systems, but can be pure madness to foreigners who are not really aware of how things work on the roads. Wrong way drivers, zero shoulder checking, and people driving on the sidewalks is totally normal all across Vietnam. Take your time easing yourself onto the roads here. Maybe get around on Grab motorbikes at first. Get an understanding of how the traffic actually works before you rent a motorbike. And when you do, make sure that you have a proper helmet. If your local rental doesn't have full face helmets, then it's definitely worth investing in one yourself, typically at a cost of around. This is important because road accidents are the #1 cause of expat injuries and deaths in Vietnam. One other really important tip is use your horn liberally. Beeping here is very common and is used a lot differently than it is in the West. You beep here to advertise to other drivers that you're passing. If you don't beep, they may be the more assertive driver and cut you up. So if you are going to cross through a junction, make sure that you're beeping your horn. Westerners come here often expecting Thailand-style smiles, constant friendliness, and service that just completely pampers you. The reality is that Vietnamese culture is quite direct, practical, and relationship based. It's inevitable. You will stick out, especially in local areas. People will stare at you, they won't necessarily smile, kids will yell hello, and strangers might just bluntly ask you your age or your marital status. And customer service?
Oh, forget about it.
Staff are fast, efficient, and no nonsense. Many new arrivals will interpret this directness as being rude or even, a little bit hostile. In reality, Vietnamese people just don't fake politeness. Their expressions, their tone, their directness, it's all genuine. If someone looks serious or, neutral, it's nothing personal. Neutrality is simply the baseline. So some practical tips to navigate the cultural differences. Number 1, learn some basic phrases. Smile doesn't need to be excessive, but a subtle smile communicates friendliness without seeming, over the top. Respect hierarchies and elders. This is a big one in Vietnam. If you're going to hand someone something, do so with 2 hands. And when you're greeting someone, give a slight bow. The friendships here are not performative. And in my experience, this is actually better because you know where you stand with people and there is no fakeness. And it's something I actually really like about Vietnam. People expect Vietnam to be the same as Thailand or the Philippines. Easygoing, casual, as a Westerner, it's easy for you to pull girls like it is in Thailand. The reality is that a lot of Vietnamese women are not interested in foreigners. Dating typically tends to be a lot more traditional, and family is usually involved early, especially if it's looking like it could be serious. PDA is limited. You won't see people touching or kissing on the street at all. and flirting loudly is definitely frowned upon. If you come to Vietnam with Western or Thailand expectations, it is going to cause cultural clashes and you are going to leave a bad impression. My advice would be to meet people through friend groups, gyms, hobbies, these kind of things if you can. Dating apps, while they are used here, is not as advisable because you do still get, scams and gold digs and stuff like that. A lot of people will say things like street food is dangerous, don't eat it, you can get sick. This is usually from people who haven't traveled around Vietnam or Southeast Asia. The reality is that Vietnamese people are extremely hygienic. Stalls are cleaned daily, the food turnover is really fast, and ingredients are fresh. I've actually never been sick here from street food or from any food for that matter. The real issue that you need to watch out for is the water. Tap water is not safe to drink here at all, so you will need to buy it. So this is important because some restaurants will wash their, salads and ingredients with the tap water. So make sure that you use your judgment. Only eat at busy stalls during peak hours, 11 to 1 p.m. or 6 to 8 p.m. Look for clean oil. It should be golden, not really, really dark. If you're in doubt, order hot or cooked dishes. Street food is, in my opinion at least, the best part about living in Vietnam. And it's usually safer than eating at tourist restaurants. Moving to any country can have its drawdowns, and Vietnam is no exception. Hopefully this video has provided some insights into the types of challenges you can expect to face when you move here. Over my right shoulder, you'll see a video popping up. In that one, I provide a full breakdown of my monthly costs living here in Da Nang, Vietnam. So if you're thinking about making the move, I recommend you check out that one next. Thanks for watching.